morning to one and all. Welcome back to online education channel by BMC. This is Vaijayanti Patil from Turve MPS. Today we are going to deal with the plant's permanent tissue from Introduction to Biotechnology. So far we have studied about the meristematic tissue, the tissues that are capable of dividing and differentiating into different cell type and tissue type. In this we have studied three types. First, apical meristem, second, lateral meristem, and third, intercalary meristem. Today we are going to focus on permanent tissues, in which we have two main types. Simple tissue, in which we have three types: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. And the second major subtype is complex tissue, in which we have xylem and phloem. So let us look into details of permanent tissues. Now, basically, what is permanent tissue? These tissues are the tissue which complete their growth and they divide and differentiate into specific cell type to perform a specific function. The cells in permanent tissue lose their ability to divide further and acquires a specific shape and performs a specific function. Thus, this process of acquiring a specific structure, a specific shape, and performing a particular function is called as differentiation. And permanent tissues are formed out of such differentiated cells. There are two main types in the permanent tissues. First is simple permanent tissue, and the second is complex permanent tissue. Now let us look into the activity to study the type of permanent tissue. This is a rohio plant. You can see over here the backside of the leaf is pink in color. This helps us to study the epidermis very clearly. Activity that we are supposed to do is we have to peel the leaf of rohio and take a very thin layer of it and treat it with the water and then keep it in a safranin stain for 1 minute. Safranin is a stain, is a dye which is used to color the tissue for better observation under microscope. Spread the piece of tissue on the slide and cover it with cover slip and observe it under the microscope. You can observe this type of cell. These are hexagonal flat cells. You can see it is showing a uniform layer and the cells are compactly arranged to each other without any intercellular spaces. The cell is rich in cytoplasm. Now see, this is how you are supposed to peel out the rohio leaf. Take a very thin layer of it, cut it into small pieces and put it in water. After washing with water, put it in a wash glass and add safranin dye. For 1 minute, keep it in the safranin dye and again dip it in the water to drain out the excess stain. Take it on the cover slip. Take a one piece on cover slide. Add 2 drops of glycerin and cover it with the cover slip. Then observe it under the microscope. Now this layer that we observed under the microscope is known as epidermis. Epidermis is the entire outer surface of the plant. You can find epidermis on the stem, on the leaves, on the root, on the entire plant. It is a layer made out of single layer of the cell. Cells of epidermis are flat and there is no intercellular spaces between them. That is, there is no gap between the cells. The cells are arranged very close to each other in a single and a continuous layer. Now, students, you must have observed the water droplets on the surface of leaf. Have you ever thought how or why is water getting accommodated in the particular drop form? It is because the leaf is covered by the leaf or the stem is covered by a waxy layer on it. This waxy layer is known as cuticle. Above the epidermis, there is a very thin layer of waxy coating that is called as cuticle. Okay. Now, what is function of this cuticle? See, when there is lot of heat outside, water from the plants gets evaporated. We call this process as transpiration. Due to the process of transpiration, lot of water is being lost from the plants. To prevent the loss of water, the cuticle helps in retaining the water inside the tissue of the plant. Now, let us look type of simple permanent tissue. The first is parenchyma, second one is collenchyma, and the third one is sclerenchyma. Now let us look into details of each one of this. First is parenchyma tissue. Now, if we talk about structure of parenchyma, they are called as living cells. They are rich in cytoplasm with thin cell wall and intercellular spaces between them. As you can observe here, okay, the cells are usually spherical or oval in shape and they are arranged compactly. The cell wall of this parenchyma cell is very thin and it is rich in cytoplasm. This is how you can observe it under the microscope. This is a stained slide of the parenchyma tissue. Observe the cell wall and this part is known as the cytoplasm. Now, where are these exactly located? Parenchyma tissues are located in all the parts of the plants. You can find parenchyma in the root, stem, leaves, flowers as well as seeds. Function of parenchyma cell is to support storage of food and filling the vacant places between the different tissues. Parenchyma cells are sometimes modified to carry out particular function. Based on this modification, they are classified as chlorenchyma. Chlorine means chlorophyll, chyma means the cells or the tissue. So the tissues in which the chlorophyll is present is known as chlorenchyma tissue. They are usually found in the leaves or the young stem of the plant. As chlorophyll is present, which is very essential for photosynthesis, main function of chlorenchyma is to carry out the process of photosynthesis. Next modification is aerenchyma. Aeren means air and chyma means tissue. So these cells which are modified to store air, they are known as aerenchyma. These are usually found only in the aquatic plants which floats either under the water or on above the water surface. The air-filled cavities of the Erenchyma cells helps the aquatic plants to float inside the water, on the water. Now, examples of this Erenchyma are the Eichhornia, which are the floating plants. You have lotus, lilies, water lilies, or the pistia. All these are the aquatic floating plants. If you just take a section of the stem of such plants, you can observe such air cavities as it is shown in this picture. Air spaces in the leaf or in the stem. Okay. Now this spongy leaf stalk, due to storage of air, provides buoyancy to the plant to float above the water surface. The next tissue is Collenchyma tissue. The structure of Collenchyma cell is they are elongated. They are also living cells, but they have thickened wall as compared to Parenchyma. And at the corners of this cell, you can observe the deposition of cellulose and pectin. Now these are kind of carbohydrates and proteins. This is how the ideal structure of Collenchyma cell looks like. The cell is elongated with the thick wall and the cytoplasm. Here you can see the thickness of the wall as well as the deposition at the corners of the cell. Remember, the deposition of cellulose and pectin are found in Collenchyma tissue. This is how the Collenchyma looks under microscope. See, here is the Parenchyma cell. You can see the thickness of this cell as compared to this one. Here the cell wall is much thicker and darker. Now, they are usually found in the leaf petiole, that is the stalk of the leaf, then branches and the stem. Collenchyma tissue functions in supporting and providing the flexibility to various parts of the plants. The third simple tissue is Sclerenchyma tissue. This is a dead tissue and it shows fibrous cells with tapering ends. Look at this picture. This is how a single cell of Sclerenchyma tissue looks like. It is tapering at both the ends. It is called as dead cell because cytoplasm is absent in it and the cell wall are much thicker as compared to Parenchyma and Collenchyma tissues. We can see the deposition of lignin. Lignin is again a kind of protein which is brownish in color and it is very hard. Okay. As the cells are dead, the tissue, Sclerenchyma tissue, is very rigid. This is how the slide looks under the microscope. It is brownish in color due to deposition of the protein called lignin. They are also known as lignified cells. Usually they are found in all the hard structures of the plant. Now what are they? That the stem of the plant. You can see it in the veins of the leaf, hard seed coat, the covering of the seed, and also the outer covering of coconuts. The function, as I said, it's very hard. It gives strength and rigidity to the parts of the plant wherever the Sclerenchyma are present. Now we are going to look at the types of complex permanent tissue. Now remember students, why is it called as complex permanent tissue? Because these tissues are made up of more than single type of cells. In this we have two types. One is xylem, whereas the second one is phloem. Now let us study the structure of xylem and phloem in detail. First, xylem. It consists of thick-walled dead cells. The cell types, there are 4 different types of cells found in xylem. They are tracheids, vessels, xylem fibers are also known as xylem sclerenchyma, and the 4th cell type is xylem parenchyma, which are the living cells. So remember the 4 cell types by which xylem is formed: tracheids, vessels, xylem fibers, also known as xylem sclerenchyma, and xylem parenchyma. Now, these are connected tube-like structure. They are interconnected tube-like structure. See, in this picture, you can see it clearly. Now, these are the tracheids, vessels. Beside the vessels are the tracheids, which are supporting the tissue. The brownish color tissue that you see are the xylem sclerenchyma cells. Now, it functions as the pipeline. It helps in conducting water, that is transportation of water and minerals in the upward direction. Water and minerals in the upward direction. We all know that plant absorbs water and nutrient from the soil. This water and nutrient from the root is taken to each and every part of the plant on the upper surfaces. So, the main function of xylem is to conduct water and minerals only in the upward direction. Remember, once again I will just repeat it. It is made up of 4 cell types, that are tracheids, vessels, these are the vessels, tracheid, xylem sclerenchyma and parenchyma cells. It looks like interconnected tubes which conducts water and mineral nutrients to the upper parts of the plant. The second type of permanent plant tissue is phloem. It consists of cytoplasm containing living cells. This again is made up of 4 different types of cells. One is sieve tube and the companion cell, as you can see in this picture. See, this is the sieve structure, one sieve, second sieve, and this is the tube. So this is called as sieve tube. The cell with the nucleus, this is known as the companion cell. Okay. Nucleus contains all the genetic information. So the sieve tube does not have any nucleus. So whatever genetic information is there, it is provided by the companion cell. The second cell type is phloem parenchyma, and the third is phloem fibers, also known as phloem sclerenchyma. These are tube joints to each other. Main function of the phloem is conducting sugar and amino acids from the leaves to various parts in upward and downward direction. Now remember, phloem helps in transportation of the nutrients in all the directions. Which type of nutrients? The nutrients that are developed in the leaves by the process of photosynthesis and respiration. We all know plants prepare starch during photosynthesis and different types of proteins or the amino acids during the process of respiration. So all these proteins and carbohydrates or the sugars are transported from the leaves to the different parts of plant through the phloem tissue. You can just observe over here. These are the sieve plate. These are the sieve tube. This is the companion cell, the sclerenchyma cell, and the parenchyma cell. So this is a structure of phloem. It consists of sieve plate, sieve tube, the companion cell, sclerenchyma cells for support, and parenchyma cells. Function of phloem is conducting the nutrients like sugar and amino acids from the leaf to the different parts in upward as well as downward direction. So let us quickly recap what we have studied today. Student, today we have focused on permanent tissues, the tissues in which the cell loses its ability to divide and redivide. It gets differentiated into a specific cell type. It acquires a specific location and performs a specific function. In permanent tissues, we have studied about simple tissues. Three types of simple tissues that we have studied are parenchyma, which are also known as living cells. It is rich in cytoplasm, thin-walled and very compactly arranged. Main function of parenchyma cell is providing support and storage of food. The second simple tissue that we have studied is the collenchyma cell, collenchyma tissue. This tissue, the cells are elongated with slightly thickened wall. Cytoplasm is present. These are also living tissue, but the wall are thick, and at the corners of each cell we can see the deposition of cellulose and pectin. Function of collenchyma is to provide support and flexibility to the plant tissue. Third simple tissue that we studied is the sclerenchyma cell. These are also known as dead tissue because the cytoplasm is absent and the cells are thickened. The cell wall is thick. The cells of this tissue are elongated and spindle shaped, that is, it is broader at the center and tapering at both the ends. In this cell, we find deposition of a protein called as lignin, which gives its rigidity. So the function of sclerenchyma tissue is providing support and rigidity to the plant. The next permanent tissue that we have studied is the complex tissue. What are complex tissue? The tissues that are formed by more than two types of different cells are known as complex tissue. In this we have studied two types. First is the xylem. Xylem is composed of the tracheids, vessels, then xylem parenchyma and xylem sclerenchyma. Tracheids helps in carrying out or conducting the water and mineral nutrients that are absorbed by the roots to the upper part of the plants. So the main function is transportation of minerals and water in the upward direction. Then the second complex tissue that we have studied today is phloem. It is made up of the sieve tube, companion cell, phloem parenchyma and phloem sclerenchyma. Here we can observe the sieve plates through which the mineral nutrients gets transported. Main function of phloem is to carry the sugars and the amino acids that are formed in the leaves by the process of photosynthesis and respiration. All these sugar and amino acids from the leaves are transported in all the directions in the plant. The movement of sugars and amino acids is in all direction, upward as well as downward direction. So remember, phloem. Xylem helps in movement of water and mineral nutrients from the roots to the upper part of the plants, whereas phloem transports sugars and amino acids from the upper parts of the plant, that is from the leaf to all the other parts of the plant where nutrients are needed. So this is all about the permanent tissue types. This is your assignment. You can just take a screenshot and complete the assignment. Let us discuss it quickly. What are the types of simple permanent tissues in plant? There are three types of simple permanent tissue: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. What are parenchyma? Give one example of plant containing parenchyma. Parenchyma are the modified parenchyma tissue which can store air in it. They are usually found in aquatic plants like Picornia, water lily or lotus. Which are the conducting tissues of the plant? Conducting tissues means the tissues that help the plants in transportation of water and mineral nutrients. Which are such tissues? Yes, it is xylem and phloem are the two conducting tissues of the plant. Now, transport of water in plant is carried by xylem. Transport of nutrient in the plant is carried out by phloem. Write the difference between simple tissues and complex tissues in the plant. Simple tissues are made up of single cell type, whereas complex tissues are made up of more than two cell types. Example of simple tissues are parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Example of complex tissue are xylem and phloem. Write the names of the following tissues responsible for increasing height of the plant. This we have studied in meristematic tissue. Apical meristem are the tissue responsible for increasing in the height of the plant. Tissue responsible for increasing girth of the plant. Remember students, girth means diameter of the stem. So tissues, that is intercalary meristem. Intercalary meristem is responsible for increase in the girth of the stem. I hope you all have understood the chapter or the portion very well. Thank you.